Welcome to my channel. On today's video, I'll be giving you some simple, basic tips on how to help you improve your car photography, even as a beginner, all on your phone. All you need is a vehicle. Doesn't matter if it's good, bad, ugly. As long as you have a vehicle and a phone, you should be good to go. Also, keep in mind that professional car photographers, most of their pictures are multiple pictures put into one. That's how they can get the nice skies, the good car, good lit car, and everything. It's multiple pictures put into one. But on today's video, I'll be taking one picture with my phone. So if you're into that, stay tuned. Before we get started, I just want to talk about the camera apps on phones. I am an Android user. I like the Android camera apps, or the basic camera app is very nice. I can shoot in manual. But for iPhone users, I know they can't shoot in manual. They have to get another app for it. I might be wrong. Things might have changed. But today we're going to be shooting all in auto. So we're going to wait for sunset kind of, so that everything is even and it's easier to shoot in auto because you can get a good sky and get a good picture of the car all in the same picture. The first thing is the location. Finding a location is important. Basically, it's going to be the background of the image because usually the car is in the front being shown off. That's the main thing about the location. Make sure the car is the main subject in the location. And also, when it comes to location, time comes to play. Usually the best time to take pictures is during golden hours when the sun has set, or whenever right before the sun is being risen. The perfect times to shoot. The second thing is not a necessity, but I think it's up to the individual. You can wash the car like what I'm doing, but some cars look nice, clean, or dirty. For example, a Jeep Wrangler, or like an older car, a rusty car. So it's up to you. What do you want the picture to come out as? Do you want a clean car? Do you want a dirty or like raggedy? It's still a style, you know, you got to choose your style. But for me, since I just got this vehicle, I think I would keep the clean look, even though I'm taking it underneath a bridge or it's gravel and dirt road. The third thing is how to pose the vehicle. There are multiple ways to pose it. You can do it straight front, like the front of the car facing you, the back of the car facing you. You can do it at a 45-degree angle where one of the headlights is facing the photographer. But if you're doing that, just make sure that the rim is facing the photographer too. So once you take the picture, you can show off the rims. Also, I like the side profile where you can see the whole vehicle. Those are just some of the poses for the vehicle. After you've posed the vehicle, the next thing is to start shooting. Usually you start with your wide shots and then you get close to your detail shots. The detail shots is supposed to emphasize like what makes the vehicle unique. Even if it's ugly or messed up, it's like a unique factor to the vehicle. So that's why you want to do some close shots and get in there, just snap around, even if you think it's not cool, but to others it might be. When it comes to editing, it's very simple for me. I keep it basic, simple, and easy to use. The app that I use is called Snapseed. It's free, and once I get to the app, I pick the picture that I want. I just click on this pencil icon. It brings down the drop down of all the edits that I can do. And I usually start off with the HDR scale. What HDR does, it kind of adds more dynamic range. What I'll do is push it all the way over to 100 strength just to see all that it does. And for me, you see, as I'm going through all of them, I'm trying to get the most natural look that I can possibly get. And it seems like, for me personally, or my style, people is it. And then I start dialing back on the strength. I don't want it to be too harsh. And then I can do the before and after. Before and after. This little sign towards the right edge shows you your before and after. So I think this is good. Let me just look at my other options just to make sure. Think nature. Think this looks good to me. So I'll click the check sign. Then I can do a before and after. This is the before. This is the after. Before, after. After that, I go to the tune image, which allows me to adjust the brightness. I usually just go all the way. If you don't know what a tool does, I usually just put it to 100%, and then that's how I figure it out. See the contrast? I don't want it too contrasty, but I do want a little bit of contrast. So like this, no, I want it just a little bit. See? Before, after. Get some contrast, saturation. I like my images like very saturated. Like I want the red in the card to pop. Like this is fine for me, that red. Ambience. Let me see. I think ambience right here is fine. Still trying to keep it as realistic as possible. Not trying to like overdo it. The highlights is usually the bright side of the photos. If you look, like let's say the hood of the car, where all like the spots are on that hood. If I go all the way, look at the hood of the car right now. I'll say I want it not too bright. Let me dial it down a little bit. Yeah, that's good with me. And then the shadows, basically the dark part of the image. I think this is fine. And then the warmth, like the temperature of the image, you want it cold or warm. I think I'll go on the warm side because the color and everything, I like the warm. And this looks fine for me. This is the before. This is the after. Once you're done, click that. And then the healing brush, usually just to take out anything that I don't want, like right here. I don't want that in the image. Ooh, you can see that it doesn't look as good. But the healing brush, for the most part, it makes a difference. I just have to keep going at it. Eventually, you'll see. So with the healing brush, you're trying to get anything that you don't want in the image. For example, I don't know if that's a dent. I don't think I can get right there. Yeah, that's as close as I can get. But anything that you don't want in the image, you can just remove it with the healing brush. Just make sure you watch out for like any edges that I really want to remove this, but I don't think I'll be able to remove that yellow and the dark thing in the background. I think it's just distracting to me. But so after you're done with the healing brush, this is what I did. It doesn't look like a lot, but just try to clean up the image. I mean, I know I can't do as much to this image because number one, the ground is gravel and anything, it looks different, or it's hard for it to heal. Like for example, to my right side of the image, you can tell that it looks different, but if somebody else is looking at it, it's going to be hard for them to see it. But yeah, you just go around the image, make sure everything looks as clean as you want it to be. That's my personal style, but if you want to leave it as is, it's all up to you. And then lastly, what I usually do is I would usually put a vignette, like a slight vignette where the car is, so that once you're looking at the image, yeah, that should be fine. See, that is too much, but I want it just a subtle. See the difference? This is the before, the after, the before, the after. You get a vignette on the outer sides. And then one more trick that I do like to use is like details. For example, if I want, I can bring up the details and make everything very sharp, or make everything like dull. I don't think I'll mess with that today, or with this image. I'll just go back, press the X, and lastly the curves. This is a very simple move that a lot of, like, it's very trendy to bring up like your shadows and stuff. So you just get you just get the curve and move the shadows up just a tad bit. It makes a big difference. You see that? Before, after, before, after. Gives it a little stylistic look. A lot of people like this faded look, so that's how you achieve it. Very simple. But that's it for this app. This app is like the closest thing to Photoshop. And after this, I'll take it into Lightroom and see what I can do there. So now we're in Lightroom, and some of the things that I like to do in Lightroom is basically the colors. I like to mess with the colors. Like with these, I can mess with specific colors and everything. That's why I like Lightroom. For example, the greens. It's a very green image. If I want, I can increase the greens or dial it down, I think. I'm gonna dial down the green. For example, if you look at the trees, dial down the green. The hue, it doesn't really matter. How bright I want it, luminance, doesn't really matter. And then the reds, saturation. I want my reds to be not too saturated, but saturated enough. And then the blues, like the skies, I want that to be saturated too. And just like that, that's how I'll get an image like this. And I think it's good enough for Instagram, good enough for beginners. And if you like this tutorial, please feel free to like, comment, share it with your friends. And if you have any ideas that I should do, please put it down in the comments. Thank you. Enjoy your day.